Hello, guitar enthusiasts of every stripe and description. It's Steve, the original guitar nut, and welcome to a special unboxing episode, short, extra, of Guitar Nuts Anonymous. Now, a little bit of backstory for those of you that maybe are just tuning in or have short memories. A few weeks back, I happened to watch a video by a guy who goes by the moniker of the Bald Shredder, also known as Richard James. He's got a great channel. If you haven't already checked it out, do. I'll try to remember to put a link down on the bottom to him. But if nothing else, just search the Bald Shredder or Richard James. Extremely entertaining YouTube channel. He does a lot of guitar reviews, primarily of inexpensive, often Chinese knockoff guitars and things. He's very passionate, and he's one hell of a good guitar player. And he indeed shreds. I mean, he's great. Regardless, he was talking about having set up a deal with IYV, which is Indian Vina, a guitar manufacturing concern from Ho Chi Minh province of Vietnam. They were going to build him a custom guitar, completely to his specs, and it was going to come to him for less than $300 shipped. And it did, and it was a great guitar, and so forth. And from there, I did a bunch of searching and found that a lot of other people had also ordered custom IYV guitars. And it looks like IYV will build literally anything you can dream of. I've seen some extreme things, just crazy things. In fact, I will try to remember. Maybe I will just show some photos here or something, if I can remember to drop some in after the fact, of some crazy builds that I've seen online. And if I forget, then I'll just look like I was doing a disco dance. But regardless, it got me to thinking how much I would like to have a custom built guitar of my own, and an idea that I've had in my head for a while, which is basically the fake, I don't want to say fake, let's say an homage to Rickenbacker in a solid body hot rod guitar sort of way, kind of like the pseudo Rickenbacker equivalent of a Super Strat, as they were back in the 80s, where people took the basic Fender Stratocaster idea and hot rodded it, simplified it, whatnot. And I came up with this idea for the Suparic. And thanks to my friend Chris Blank, who actually came up with the name Supa, S-U-P-A-R-I-C, Suparic. Because I was originally just going to call it the Super Rick, but Suparic, it's got a nice ring to it. Regardless, I sent in some pictures and some specs, and I didn't get too specific because I actually kind of wanted to see what IYV would come up with on their own, with just a modicum of direction. And they sent me some early photos. Well, first off, they sent me a blueprint type picture, which was cool. Maybe I'll put it up again. I showed it before, but so yeah, they sent me that. And then a few days later, keep in mind this all happened within like a 3-week period. Within a few days of getting the blueprint, they sent me the first photos of the guitar in the process of being built. You know, body, neck, and I was pretty excited about it. And then, like a total of 3 weeks later, this box showed up on my doorstep today, which is it's really interesting. The box says Harley Benton on the back. On the side, it says Amazon USA. So, and it also has an 8x10 label on the front with my name and address on it, which I'll keep to myself. But I just thought it was funny that they used a full-size sheet of paper to put my address on. So without any further ado, let's get a look at what we got here. As you can see, the box is very sealed. Oh, and if you're wondering how we got a full-size guitar into a box this big, I specified a bolt neck guitar so that it could be sent to me at a much lower shipping rate. It's basically $180 some odd to ship a guitar with the neck on, or glued in neck guitar, neck through, all of which they do. But I opted for a bolt neck, both for ease and thrift of shipping, but also because I've learned from the past that a bolt neck is much more forgiving. If there are any issues with neck angle and whatnot, it's really simple to just do a shim, change the neck angle. Whereas with a neck that is permanently attached, which essentially, you know, a glued-in neck is permanently attached, it theoretically can come out, but you're not going to do it with a cheap guitar. The point being is I wanted to make sure that I could make this thing playable on the offhand chance that it didn't wind up being playable out of the box, so to speak. So anyway, so they fit the whole thing, neck and body, into this little box. Let's see here. Some pretty serious tape. Bear with me. Hopefully you enjoyed the last regular episode, the Revenge of the Trolls, or Attack of the Trolls, or whatever I wound up calling it. I don't even remember. I guess you realize you finally made it when you start getting the internet equivalent of hate mail. I was, you know, let known that I knew nothing about guitars and nothing about wood, nothing about playing, nothing about good sound, you know, all the usual crap. You know, whatever. They're not paying my bills, so screw them. And furthermore, you know, I've been playing guitar for 36 years. I feel pretty confident that I know what I'm talking about. So let's see, right on top here we have some screws. And a couple of adjustment wrenches. Now, somewhat distressingly, two of the neck attachment screws appear to be broken. I sincerely hope that doesn't mean that the other half of the neck bolt is stuck in the body. I can't really come up with any explanation as to why I would have two regular screws and two that look like that. So right out of the box, that's got me more than a bit concerned. But anyway, let's not jump to any conclusions. All right, get that out of the way. So, obviously this is my neck. Wow, that is a heavy neck. I wonder why. I mean, it feels really heavy. Let's see here. Oh, it certainly looks cool though. All right, so here's our neck. Headstock, the IYB logo. Look to be your basic generic sealed gear tuners made by Ping or whoever. And that's a little, I've definitely seen tidier nut work, but interesting construction. See, it's got the tongue here. You'd call it a tendon if this were a glued in. Don't know that I've ever really encountered a guitar with quite that neck attachment. Well, it appears that they actually opted to cut those other two neck bolts, because if they hadn't, they would have been too long and they would have come through the tendon here. The tendon, the tongue. Which, does that mean that the neck is essentially attached by two screws? Well, I will say this, the finish is great. Frets feel great. Shiny, not gritty. No sharp ends. Nice medium C-shaped neck. Okay, well, proof will be in the pudding, right? So, there's that. very well packed. They clearly intended on this getting here safely, which I very much appreciate. They got the ubiquitous burial shroud here. I'm feeling a mix of excitement and trepidation. I'm a little nervous. Now keep in mind, including shipping, this thing came out to $310, so I'm not out a fortune anyway if it doesn't work out being great, but I'm hopeful that it will be great. They left the strings attached. That's funny. All right. I kind of wish they hadn't, because I'm not going to reuse these strings anyway. Here's the back of our body. As you can see, I opted for a through the body hole. The F-hole makes kind of a nice handle. Finish looks really good. Got our 2 humbuckers, our basically hip shot styled bridge, 1 volume, 3 position switch. You know what? I'm going to, let me pause the camera. I'm just going to grab some wire cutters and cut these strings off, because I'm going to replace them anyway, so just hold on a moment. And I'm back in the room. All right, so I removed those strings that they opted to leave on. And I went ahead and took the liberty of removing the clear plastic condoms from the pickups. So let's get up close here. There's a little fingerprinting and whatnot going on, but it's no big deal. Finish looks great. All around. Appear to be some little metal receivers here. Apparently, yeah, it's in lieu of a neck plate. They're not going with a neck plate. They're using these little receivers, and I'm guessing that these bits of tape here to hold the receivers from falling out, because maybe they would. Also, you'll notice, I thought this was interesting. As well as having a standard control plate for the switch, the volume control, they opted to do this, which is how they installed the jack. It's just really interesting that they would. I've literally never seen that done, and I don't mind it. It's really interesting. This is kind of odd. As well as the strange construction of the neck. Well, maybe you can see in here. You can see the pickup wire. It's coming out and going down a hole into the body. The entire construction of this thing is really unusual. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just odd. It's and again, if it works, I really don't care. I asked them to do sculpting to make the edges thinner than the middle. They didn't do it to the degree that I might have liked. I gave them a picture of an Ibanez S-Series guitar. It has the severe taper and really thin edges. But they did do a pretty good job. I mean, they definitely did taper it. My concern, of course, was just about weight. And honestly, this, I mean, it's still not going to be, if I had to guess, I'm going to say it'll probably wind up being around the 8-pound range, which is a little heavier than I would normally opt for, but I mean, it's not Les Paul heavy or anything. So I'll swap these buttons out for strap locks immediately. Yeah, all in all, I mean, I'm definitely intrigued. I want to get this thing put together. So here's what I think I'm going to do. You've seen the unboxing. I think I'll pause this. I will go put this together, string it up, set it up. Yeah, I'll just do a full setup because it doesn't take me long. I've been doing setups for so long, 30 minutes, this thing will be ready to roll. And I'll come back and I won't do a full review or anything, but I can let you hear it, give you my initial impressions of it, put together. And so yeah, so I'll be back. And once again, I'm back in the room. So, here it is, assembled, set up. And as I said, I'm not going to do a full review of it right now, but I will let you hear it. Yeah. Neck. For cleans, I think the middle sounds best, honestly. Little dirt, shall we? Sure, why not? Start with the neck. Bridge. And just for fun, middle. So, there she blows. The IYV Suparic. So, until I come back with a full review and complete demo, here she is. This has been Steve. You're a resident guitar nut. You've been you. You're beautiful, babe. Don't change. Till I talk to you next. Stay cool, stay frosty. Be good to yourself and each other. For crying out loud, play that damn guitar. I'll see you soon. Steve out.